Hello, my name is Phoebe. Welcome back to my Flosstube channel. It is Sunday, October 12th, and today is my filming day. I film every other Sunday, and I'm going to talk to you about everything that I've been stitching on lately. I have a fully finish, a finish, some whips, some plans, a little bit of haul. I do have a giveaway for you. I found a duplicate pattern among my stash while I was looking through things that I would love to start. I'm gonna share with you some things that I'd love to start if we have time at the end, and then just a couple of books. So that is kind of what we're going to chat about today. I hope that you join me and stitch on something while we're chatting about what I've been loving to stitch. And if you aren't yet subscribed, I hope that you do. Find something that you enjoy and thumbs up the video if you like it. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with my fully finished. So basically I just popped something into a frame that I finished a while ago. And here's what it is. So this is Blackberry House from Plum Street Samplers. I had this as a whip for so long. This is on a piece of, I think like dried petal from Fabric and Flare. And this is a 40 count. It is all the called for flosses, and it's 1/2. And I got this frame at Michael's. This is, I'm sure you can tell, not expertly framed. You can see a little bit of the back there popping out because I, eventually I may get this set in there nicely, but this specific frame, it was on sale and I thought this filigree was so beautiful, but the glass actually had printing on it, and I didn't want to use the glass, and the glass was attached, and so I just popped my piece over top of it. So no biggie. In the future I'll probably put it in something else, but for now I can hang this on my daughter's wall. This is for my daughter Joy. She was born in 2015. She picked out this pattern for me to stitch, and it's finally framed and ready to go up on her wall. So I really love this piece. It was a very dense stitching. So yeah, that is my fully finish for the day, and I do have another Plum Street to share with you, which is my finish. So here it is. This is the Addams family, and this is stitched on a piece of 36 count Sand Dollar Be Stitch Me linen. It is with all of the called for floss except for, there's something in there that I switched out because I couldn't find it, probably during COVID when I was kitting this up. And so this is 36 count 1/2, and this is just such a fun stitch. And this is another one of my older whips. I have started a lot of Plum Street this year, but back in the day I also had started a lot of Plum Street. So there's a little bit of over one in the cute little people in this scene, but it's just such a fun autumnal piece. And I popped in the carrot color, which is the lighter of the oranges, very last, and it just really pulled everything together. I think I had like poached it for another project, so I didn't have it to stitch with, and then when I put it in, it just really made the whole piece. So I love this one, and the fabric was perfect for it, and I had such a good time. So this one was one of the cast members of Great British Bake Off, and she sadly went home at some point in the last 2 weeks, and so I needed to put 500 stitches in this, and then it probably only had like 1,000 more to go, or maybe 750. So I just was like, yeah, we're just gonna keep rolling with that and get it all finished. So there's that one, all the called for pretty much, and 1/2. So love that one. So I don't know when I'm gonna finish this up. I don't know if I'm gonna frame it or make a flat fold. I haven't done a flat fold in a minute. Maybe I'll do that. But yeah, I need to get this up on the wall so I can display it for this time of year. I didn't mention earlier, but I do have a new start, and that is from the Christmas Duo booklet that's Needle Press and GGR, and I'm doing this one. And after I finished my heritage piece for my grandmother Leona on my father's side, I have been meaning to start a new piece. I wanted to start one for my husband's mother and get her up on the wall as well. I do have an original stitched piece from my husband's grandmother, Dolores, already up on the wall, her own artwork. And so, we're gonna include these ladies on the wall as well. And so I picked this piece because my husband's mother, Karen, was a very no frills woman. She had a great sense of humor, but she was not a frilly lady. And so I wanted to pick something that was more straightforward maybe than my other heritage pieces that I've done so far. So this is what I picked. So I am stitching this on a new Moonshine Stitchery shade called Streisand. It's kind of like, it's a golden tan, similar to Landslide Intense, but with the modeling less drastic, less pronounced. So that's Streisand. And I have this on 40 count, and let me show you the stitching. So I pulled out one of my new Pirate and Rabbit flosses that I got from Market. This is Watermelon, and I love it. It's almost like a neon red and a hot pink. And then there's a little bit of darker red in there as well, but it's so beautiful, and it is looking so nice on this linen. So I don't know if you can see the variation of color there. Sometimes it doesn't always come across. On Flosstube, colors don't always come out exactly how I see them, but just know, if you are a fan of red or pink, you need this floss. It is so bright and beautiful, and I don't often see reds that are variegated with pink. So that's where I got to on my new start. And I think this piece, it's not that wide. It only goes like out to here, so it's longer, and that will be really, really nice. So it's 40 count, 1/2 with Watermelon from Pirate and Robin on Streisand from Moonshine Stitchery. And anything that like all the projects I talk about today will be down in the description bar below. Any brands that I'm talking about will be linked down below. Any floss tubers I mention, all that good stuff down there. So let's get into whips. This project was, I'm gonna be showing you the very tail end of the Big Brother Stitchy game because it ended in the last 2 weeks, but it ended like right after my last video. So I had a little bit left to put in on Plum Street this happy morning. So I did. I think it was in this here. But I'll just show this really quickly because I only owed this like 100 more stitches. So, there's that. I do love this piece. It is so fun. And this is a 36 count. I can't remember what the name of it. Morning Fog, I think. And so I feel like it's huge, but anyway, so that's the end of that piece. There's been a winner chosen and everything, and if you are still trying to catch up, I still won't say who the winner is, but I'll definitely show you the piece that won and all that stuff. This is the person who I thought was gonna win. So this is Hannah Sanderson from Dutch Treat Designs, and this person was very much posed to win and did not win a couple of clutch competitions in the end. Even though they won a lot of competitions right at the end, they missed out on a few that were really important. But here's where I worked. I have to be honest, towards the end of this game, I got a little bit of fatigue from doing so much stitching for the game, even though I really, really enjoyed myself. So I think this person was due like 2,000 stitches or something the week that they got evicted because they had won some comps and then got nominated and then got evicted, and that's a lot of stitching for one person, like in a small space of time. And so I think I probably only put in like 750 stitches out of the 2,000, and it all went into this flower. So, yep, that's it. That's all she wrote for that one. This is really pretty, this flower going on in here. Got some really nice colorways there. So yeah, this is a piece of my linen, and it is a 40 count, and it is none of the called for. It's completely cut up from stash off of the DMC list for the lighter fabric. There's 2 DMC lists, so there's that one. I didn't get as much done on it as I could have. Basically, this person didn't do much this season. They were like the side person, like whispering in other people's ears that were doing things, so they didn't get a lot of stitching till the very end. But I felt something poke me, like I just dropped a needle or something, but I don't see it. Anyway, so there's that one. Okay, this is the person that did win. So this person also did not get a massive amount of stitching this game. You're probably thinking, I didn't even know you had this one in your game, because this person got nominated like week 1 or won something, week 1 or 2, and then did nothing till the very end of the game, won some clutch competitions, and then ended up winning the whole thing for a reason, which I will tell you in just a minute. So I gave this person, I think, like 500 stitches just for like winning, and there wasn't anything else I pretty much had to do. So that was this whole house. That's 500 stitches, and that's all I did. So this is gonna look really different to you than anybody else's Let Love Rain from Teresa Kogut, because I kitted up from stash and I threw in some really interesting silks in here. So see the makeup of this flower? That is one silk from Mrs. Seda Silk, and see how it has all of that marigold, brown, and blue. So that's the same floss I needed for the house, and I just basically, I didn't want that much color variation in there, so I fussy cut all the yellow out of it and only used the blue and the brown. And then the yellow around, you know, in the eaves, that's supposed to be there. That's a different color floss, but the house just is the blue, like the blue, gray, and brown of that floss. So it could have looked like that, but I decided to make it a little bit more, a little less scattered, because it's not a flower, it's a house. So anyway, that's 500 stitches. That's what that looks like. This is a 46 count piece from, that I overdyed before I started putting linen up on the website. This is like a nice stone color with some clay. So anyway, this is a slow going piece for me because, like I mentioned in my last video, 46 count is hard for me to stitch on. I just can't see the holes, and I don't wear magnifiers, so even with my glasses, the holes are a little bit harder to see unless I'm stitching in like morning light. That is the best time for me to be able to see stitches. So I do have another 46 count that I'm stitching on in today's whips, but it's just very slow going for me. So that was the Big Brother winner. Now for the Big Brother runner-up. It's this big Mama Jamma piece of fabric. And you know what it is, it's Dutch Beauty. This one is so fun. So the last time that I shared this with you, I believe what I said was, well, did I have her completely done the last time I shared this with you? I don't know. This person needed a lot of stitches. I didn't end up giving runner-up any special stitches for being runner-up, and the person that got the People's Choice Award, that was the project that was already finished, the Paisley Pumpkin, so I didn't do any stitches for that either. So I probably put in a few more on this, but not, the majority of the stitching went into the other two pieces. This person won, it was like a default lose because everybody disliked this person so much. That's why in the game they talk about jury management. It means like you have to not make everybody mad when you kick them out of the house. It's a really tricky thing to do. So anyway, this person was runner-up, only got 1 vote out of 7, something like that, or 1 vote out of 9, I don't remember. But this is by Permin of Copenhagen. It is, again, all kit up from stash, and I love it. I had so much fun. I got so much stitching done on this during this game. Like basically everything from here over was new from the game. So, and that lady was a lot of stitches. So anyway, if you want to see somebody that has a lot more done on this than I do, Nerissa is working on this one and has a lot done. So there is Dutch Beauty. Let's look at my daily stitching. This is Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. Thank you, Sarah Stitchy Spot, for the shout out for how my piece is coming. I am also very much enjoying how much progress I'm getting on this. I do 2 strands of floss a day. So I have all of my DMC here, let me just show you. In case this is your first time joining me, these are all of my DMC. Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow calls for a lot of floss. And so I just have them all on playing cards. It's very budget effective for me. And then it's labeled. So here's 742. So basically I take the DMC, I unwind it, and then I fold it over a number enough times so that this is how long a length is. Cut the bottom, and every time I just pull out a strand, pull out another strand, put it on a couple needles, and then that's what I'm stitching on for the day. And when that's done, I put it away for the day. So that is that. Aren't these beautiful? I mean, oh my goodness. If you want just all of your autumn, it's even got some autumn blue. I mean, if you just want to live in autumn, this piece is where it's at. But I love autumn so much that I don't mind that this is my stitch for the whole year, every single day, because this is such a huge piece. It's certainly going to take me a whole year from when I made this my 2 strands a day. But I'm making tons of progress. So like half of this was done before I made this my 2 strands a day, and then the rest of this got done. All of this block, all of this block, this was already done before. Let's see, I skipped this block, all of this block, and then now the witches in the middle. So I think most of these witches are new in the last 2 weeks. I think I had a little bit of that pumpkin in there. And now this witch is really filling out the, I did a little bit of the pumpkin and I went right to that cat. And then jumping around in the witch. And just the most recent thing I did was I stitched these stars. Can you tell that I got a little bit of peanut butter on this piece? Heidi's always like, you're eating apple slices and peanut butter, or you're eating whatever while you're stitching. I'm always like, yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. But this time I actually got a tiny bit on there, and it's right under this star. And I was like, well, there's going to be stitching over it, so I'm not going to panic, because that serves me not at all to panic, except just to stress me out. So I don't be stressed. This is a 40 count piece of flax. All of the called for DMCs, so I'm doing 1/2 with the 40 count, and I just really love this piece. So I picked my oldest whip, and a whip stands for work in progress, in case, sorry if I didn't say that at the beginning of the video, and I work on it till it's done. So yeah. Previously, this one was my oldest whip. I finished Mirabilia Garden Prelude, and then I moved on to this one, and it's been so much fun. So there's that. If you have something that you really love and you want to get consistent progress on it, but you don't want to ever get burnt out on it, I feel like 2 strands a day is a really great way to do that, because I'm never stitching on it so long that I'm like tired of it in any one sitting. You know what I mean? Here's my other consistent stitch right now. This is Autumn Town from Autumn Lane Designs, and this is my whip into shape whip. When Andrew from the Running Stitcher moved his training to preparing him for the New York Marathon, which I'm so excited. I love on Andrew's Instagram how he uses that app that shows the path that he's running around New York City. It's so fun. Anyway, I'm always like watching you, Andrew, and being like, I wonder why he turned and did that. Like, I don't know, it's just so fun. So anyway, this design has some specialty flosses. There's some Gloriana and some Weeks in here. I worked all in this Weeks. I'll tell you what this floss is. I'll pop it on the screen. These roofs is what I worked on. So Andrew did about 330, I needed to do 330 stitches each week of the last 2 weeks. So there's about 700 stitches in here, new, in, okay, I did put a little bit in the birds, in here, in the birds, and then I was just doing roof. So that is what 700 stitches looks like in this piece. So again, for me, it's much easier to, instead of counting every single stitch, I have pre-counted that approximately project to project with the way that I have my floss cut already, that I can get between 50 and 60 stitches per skein of, per like one strand on a skein in a project, if it's 40 count. And I almost exclusively stitch on 40 count. Almost. You'll of course see some exceptions, but anyway, so that's how I count it. Instead of counting every stitch, that's way too tedious for me, I just count the number of threads. So if you want to try that, it's really easy. So this is a piece of light green linen. Can you tell that it's green? It's hard to tell that it's green in this flashed out camera, but it is still maybe a little too light. So I mentioned that I might go in and fill in the hills afterwards, the hills that go behind the houses that are supposed to be unstitched. We'll see. So that will keep coming out every Saturday while I am training with Andrew. And yeah, that's it for that one. Okay, a few more whips before we get into the Great British Baking Show. So this one has a big dangling thread. I don't know why. So if you reference my most recent video, it's a stitch with me, and this is what I was stitching on in that video. So this is Autumn Cloche by Hello from Liz Matthews, who is gearing up for an exciting jingle ball. I'm gonna be going. Is anybody else going? Very excited. In that video, I was working in this pumpkin, primarily, I believe. This guy, and then this guy, and then I came over here and started over here before my time was up. That was actually 2 different stitchy sessions in that video. But if you want a no talking stitch with me, it just has piano music provided by myself, and you can just chill out and stitch with me if you would like a stitching buddy that you don't have to respond to or think about what they're saying. So yeah, this is again 40 count flax plain, and it's all the called for MPIs, 1/2. Okay, look at this guy. Look what I got out. So I didn't show this in my last video because even though a new part from Teresa Kogut's Hometown Style came out, I didn't do it because I was so busy with Big Brother stitching. Whoop. But I got it out, and instead of doing the block right here to catch up, I did the most recent block because I needed to see what my clearance was going to be at the bottom. And the answer was I did not have enough space. So, okay, let me fold this. This is a 2-year sale from Teresa Kogut. If you are a member of her Tier 4 Patreon, you get a generous sized portion of this stitch along the 15th of every month. I've been doing this coming up on 2 years. We are almost done. I just have October, November, December, and then I'm done. But at the bottom of this design, so as you can see, the rest of these are about like that high. This one is a shorter one, but I don't have enough room to put in. She has my hometown, or just hometown, I think, and then stars below it. And I was gonna have to, I was like, I'll take out the stars and then hopefully the hometown can fit, or maybe I can like shrink the hometown and make them shorter letters. And I was like, no, I'm just gonna take all of that out because it's approximately the same space that I have between here and the top. And I was thinking about doing a raw edge finish because I like how those look. I just have to look up how to do it. So this is the bottom of the design. So I don't have to worry about coming any closer to the bottom. But boy, did I mess up my math on that day. So that's all right. Like I said to you guys a half a year ago when I was concerned that that's what was gonna happen at the bottom, I figured it out. I don't wanna stress about it. It's supposed to be fun, right? We don't wanna stress. So I did, this is the September portion right here. And so I'll go back and do August. In fact, I started it. It starts right here. So I started the willow tree and the branching, and it's gonna go down to here, right? No, it's gonna go this whole way. I started it and then I was like, no, I wanna move on to something else, which is fine. That's our prerogative with our whips. So this is a piece of 28 count Lugana. I'm doing 1/2, and there's only like 2 called fors in this piece. And one of them is DMC 3779 or something like that. Because I just wanted to give myself a little bit more interest when stitching this piece, since I was gonna be stitching it for so long. And yeah, I really love it. It has been such a fun stitch along. So let me hold up the whole thing again. Lily. There we go. I can't see if I'm showing the bottom of it, but I hope I am. So I love it, and I think like the little bit kind of like rugged color that I've got going on, and then if I zip off the top of this Zweigart at the top and do the frame, not the frame, but you know what I'm talking about, the raw finish. I mean, it's already kind of started. I think that's why I got that into my head in the first place. So this is going to be a finish for Christmas. Very exciting, and yeah, so I caught up with that. Well, no, okay, I didn't caught up. I didn't caught up. Okay, it's time for Great British Bake Off. I can't remember if we talked about this in the last video, but this person, they won something. I think that I already showed you everything I did on this. And it was just filling in more of the house. So I'm just gonna share that really quick. This person's still in it, so we will see that some more later. That was this I know from Plum Street Samplers. Okay, so this person definitely did go home. And this is Consider the Lilies from Heartstring Samplery. And so I worked on this. And then I started in on this moth, and that's what 500 stitches looks like. So I think a little bit of the greenery in here was already done, but the pot is new, this bloom is new, this butterfly or moth. So that's what 500 stitches looks like on that. This is something that I overdyed a 40 count a long time ago because this is a very old whip. And this is all of the called for, and it's 1/2 on 40 count. So this person is, I can't remember. Are they going home? Actually, this person might still be in it. I'll put on the screen. I'm doing 500 stitches whether they 1-star baker or if they got voted out or, you know, got eliminated. So I can't remember off the top of my head, and my little paper is not in here right now, but I'll put on the screen. We might see this again, but we might not. How mysterious. Okay, this person did go home, and this is Sundown from Carolyn Manning, stitched on a piece of stone from Fabric and Flair. And it's a 40 count. I'm using the Call for DMCs. I have this in Markup XP, otherwise I would probably go blind or something trying to figure out where I am in the pattern. So how I stitch this is I just pick, so since I'm stitching 500 stitches on here, I needed to pick 10 strands of floss. So I would just pick a strand, fill it in, and then whatever's left, I would jump over to the next part, fill that in. And so just kind of the 500 stitches are all in here somewhere. So just slowly moving my way out on this one. I have 2 Carolyn Manning started. This is the only one that's kind of like these long, thin lines. The only one that I have that's this way. The other ones that I have are more like the kaleidoscope ones, the shooting stars. And that's the other one that I have started for Christmas. I have one. And I find that the pattern is like, it's showing through a little bit in here because I picked a light color, so I might change that up for the next time. Like there are things that we all are learning as we go along, right? But this is an older whip and I didn't think about that. And so that's the only thing about this one, but I do think it is really, really cool. Okay, Scary Sampler got more stitching on it. And I think last time I met with you, I said, this needs 500 more stitches. I just haven't done it yet. So those have since been done, and that was in the house. I was just filling in bricks and everything and just kind of going through here and filling in stuff that wasn't done yet. And surprise, surprise, this person has yet again won something. So I'm gonna put 500 more stitches in this. This person will absolutely be in the finals. I said that last time. And so I'm excited to put 500 more stitches in here. So I will most likely still be here in the house. Maybe I'll just finish up this roof this time. So this is Heartstring Samplery, super fun pattern to be working on in this time of year. It's a piece of 32 count. I think it's like a loose weave 32 count that I overdyed. And this is, I said Heartstring Samplery, right? And this is all of the called for flosses. So super fun. Love this piece. The other bakery stitch that I need to put some stitches in, and this is unfortunately for the person who went home, is my Summer Quaker. I'm sad that this person went home, and I already have my needle loaded up and only put in like 2 of the 500 stitches before I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go film right now. So that is all ready and loaded to go. So this doesn't look any different than the last time you saw it, but this is Leela's Studio Summer Quaker, and I will put 500 stitches in here. So I'm going to finish this going across here and then figure out where I'm going from there, probably up here. So this is with almost none of the called for flosses, in case you're wondering, does that look a little different? Yeah, probably. It's a piece of linen that I overdyed for it, and if you want to stitch with me on this piece, My summer Stitch With Me and music video is on my channel if you are interested in that. But yeah, you'll definitely see progress on this in my next video. Okay, that is nearly all the whips. I just have 2 more. So I am also, so my Stitchy Games, Big Brother's done, but I'm doing Baking Show and I'm doing Dancing with the Stars. But for Dancing with the Stars, I'm not stitching for anybody that goes home. I'm just putting 500 stitches into whoever got the highest score of the week. So it's less involved. And I will actually be starting to stitch for Survivor when they're down to 1 tribe, which if you don't watch Survivor, that doesn't matter anything to you. So just don't worry about that because this is still a few weeks away. So for Dance with the Stars, I don't mind telling you who got the highest score on weeks or anything because it's not affecting you like knowing who's going out or anything. So I don't think it's going to spoil anything. So I got out Clovis from Stacy Nash. I got inspired after watching Lizzie the Stitcher's video. She had 2 videos recently and I felt like I won the jackpot. It was so fun. So one was all about finishes and I think the next one was all about her whips. And so I got back out Clovis because Jordan, the celebrity who is, I forget who she's dancing with, but she is a gymnast and she tied for the top score with another dancer week before last. So I put 250 stitches into Clovis and I honestly can't really tell what I did. I'm pretty sure I put in this eyeball and I might have done a little bit more on her face and maybe this is new. I'm not sure, but if Jordan keeps doing super well, this will get a lot more stitching on it for Dancing with the Stars. This is a piece of 36 count Snowfall from my brand. Snowfall is like basically a eggshell color with some kind of a little bit of navy modeling, like a navy gray modeling. So, and I did a conversion for her skin, for Clovis's skin, because I didn't think that she would show up very well against the background that I had chosen. So that's why she looks a little different. But yeah, I think it's gonna be super, super cute. So there's Clovis from Stacy Nash. And those are the Call for Flosses 1/2. I thought my Jet X Stitch Blueberry J, is that what it's called? I thought was gonna get more stitches because Robert Irwin is so fun on that show, but it did not. And MacFarlan is continuing to rock the whole competition on Dancing with the Stars, as I predicted she would. So this is the Wishing Thorn and MacFarlan, one of my very favorite samplers in my stash, and I started a while ago and didn't get very far, so I wanted to assign her to who I am anticipating will win the whole show because I thought they would get a lot of stitches that way. So this is a monochromatic sampler with the exception of, there's like a couple little pops of color in there. I think I just need to pick like one other floss or something. It's mostly cross stitches and there's some specialty stitches all in the one color, and I've picked Weeks Mountain Mist, and then there's gonna be like a tiny pop of color and a couple of things. So this person tied with Jordan for the first week since my last filming, and then they got the top all by themselves for the second week. So this person got 750 stitches. This is a piece of 46 count Rhapsody from Moonshine Stitchery. I'm using Mountain Mist 1/2 on this piece of fabric. So lots of letters going in here for 750 stitches. I honestly don't remember where I was in my last video, but as you can see, the alphabet is almost completely done. P, Q, R, S, and then that's it across the top. So I love this piece. If you want to see somebody who has done more work on it, Lisa Smith from Kindred Stitcher has, if you want to check out her videos. I don't remember which one she most recently showed this on, but it is looking stupendous and I love it. So that is my Anne MacFarlan. And you will probably see this person in the finals of that show, so I'm sure we will get plenty more on Anne. I think the person would have to actually break their leg to not make it to the finals, in my opinion. So as for haul, it's this, this Christmas. Just cross stitch the ornament issue. Oh my gosh, I couldn't think of that word. And then I honestly haven't really looked through the magazine. I've just gone to this page and thought about which ones I would want to do. So I just like to collect these. I actually haven't stitched the one that I started out of the Halloween magazine that just came out is the only one that I've stitched out of any of these magazines, but I do like to have them because they're just so festive and, you know, relatively quick to work on compared to other things. So, and then I purchased 2 digital downloads from Etsy. An Etsy ad got me. And, oh, on my nails today, this is Moonshine Manny, which is my nail polish brand that lives on the same website as where I sell my linen. So don't be confused if you go on my Moonshine Stitchery website and see nail polish, they're housed in the same space. But if you look under the menu, it says Moonshine Stitchery. And if you type Moonshine Stitchery, it'll take you just to the linen part of the website. But I don't want you to be confused, but because I am just one person living my small business life, that is much more cost effective and less confusing for me for shipping to have it all in one location. So that's why I did that. So thank you so much for those of you who patronize my linen and my nail polish. This is one of our new, let me put it back here. One of our new Christmas colors. It's a linear hollow shade. So there's a little sneak peek of that. That is all of my haul. Next, let's talk plans. So I'm gonna keep doing the stitchy games that I have already started, and I haven't pre-selected what projects go with which person on Dancing with the Stars, and so I'm just kind of like picking a pattern as it comes. So that's kind of cheating, but it's my game and I can do what I want, right? I do have a few more stitches that I need to do for some of the Steelers games, but they've only had 2 games, I think, since my last video. No, since the last 2 videos ago, I think, because there was like a bye week, or there just wasn't a lot of stitching to do, so I'm saving it up. It's like my lowest priority stitching game. I really want to start that the Haunt You pattern looks like this from the Camping Stitcher. That's going to be my next start, and it might be this week, I'm not sure. I also have a proposed start with Heidi and Michael. We're going to start Ghoultide Welcome, which looks like this, but I think we're starting that the Monday before Halloween. Or it might be the Monday before that. I have to check. But that's coming up if you want to stitch that with us. And I'm going to stitch on Gourd from Moonshine Stitchery, which looks like this. It is a super fun Halloween linen if you would like to grab some, or for autumn if you have all year round autumn stitching that you want to do. So those are my plans. When I was looking through my patterns to pick my next Heritage stitching piece, I found some projects that I am excited to start soon. And I found this pattern that I had 2 of. So this is English Sampler from Samplers Not Forgotten. I am obsessed with this project, and it was going to be my back to school start for this year, but then I was like, you have nowhere near completed your 2 back to schools that you started, Andale in 2023 and Mary, it's not coming to me right now, from Stacy Nash in 2024. So you don't need to start another giant project. Anyway, I love it so much, I have 2 of them. So I'm going to send one of you this project if you would like it. Please comment below using the word garden. Please don't use any of the words that are going to bring the trolls, such as giveaway or winner or, you know, the words. And please actually, you know, be a cross stitcher and want to stitch this, or give it to somebody. Maybe you could give this to someone for Christmas, but I will send it to you. So yeah, comment below in your comment. Okay, let's look really quickly at some projects that like I want to start really soon. Just a small handful here. First up, we have Ho 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 from the Scarlet House. I've been wanting to start this for a while, and these aren't by any means an extensive list, an exhaustive list of what I want to start right now. This is just what I pulled out for right now. Okay, I know that this is very kind of same feeling as Away We Ride, which I've already done, but I would love to have this right up next to Away We Ride. And this is in the Sisters book from Blackberry Designs. And that bright, I think it's fragrant cloves, is just so awesome. I need to do it. So there's that. Speaking of Hello from Liz Matthews, this one is so adorable. I love it. Super fun. I also really want to start the one with the big cardinal at the top that I have as a PDF that I got at last Jingle Ball, I think. This one is so sweet. I really want this one up on my wall. Or as a pillow, actually. I'll probably do it like just like that. Well, not just like that, because I'm not as crafty as whoever finished this. That is from the Confectionery Stitcher. Then we have Summer House Stitches Spring Awakens. If I get in the mood to start a spring stitch, it's going to be this one. Somebody was doing this the other day. Was it Adelaide Stitches? Somebody was stitching on this and it was looking so good. This is Otonio from Satsuma Street, and I'm just living in all of my autumn feels right now, and this just sings to me, so yeah. Maybe it was Mama Bear Stitcher. I love her channel too. Another Calico Confectionery. Isn't that awesome? I love it. Love, 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 love. Shine On Harvest Moon from Calico Confectionery. Religious Christmas Trio from Primrose. I haven't started another Primrose like I said I was going to. And these are just like very straightforward, great messages to have out during my Christmas celebrations. I have a million Brendas that I could start, especially after my trip to Country Sampler. And these are some that I want to do. Every time I watch Tara's videos, she is showing so much Brenda Gervais, and I just want to do them all. So yeah, there's that. Okay, and then these last ones are other heritage pieces that are in the running for the next one I'm going to pick for my mother, who is much more of, I used the word frilly before, but just like really exuberant and like zest for many aspects of life and just more frilly. I don't know. Hopefully that doesn't bother anybody, though I'm using that as a descriptor for a person. But it's a good adjective for me. So anyway, there's that. Probably something that feels musical and lyrical to me. She was also raised on a farm, so I'm not opposed to that in my piece as well. This one would work very well for her too. Sorry, this was Elizabeth Dornbos from Soed Ide, I don't know. And then this one is Clara Hansen from Hello from Liz Matthews, which just looks so awesome in that turquoise, but I would do it in red. So there are all of the patterns that I want to show you. Okay, that's all of the stitching. If that's all you wanted to join me for today, I really appreciate you being here. And I'm just gonna quickly talk about a few books because I've been in a series primarily in the last 2 weeks, and then that'll be it for today. So let's talk books. I listen to a lot of Audible because I can do many things while I'm listening to books. And so I have been deep in my Beartown, deep down the Beartown hallway of fantastic writing. So this is a Frederick Bachman series. He wrote Beartown first, and then Us Against You is the next one in the series, and then I am currently in The Winners, and I have 3 hours left of The Winners. And the whole series is wonderful. I didn't know it was a series when I started it, so I am just really, really enjoying it. And that makes it about 30 hours, maybe more, of listening when you listen to all 3 books. I highly recommend. They are 5-star reads. I'm so glad I finally got them onto the top of my TBR list. And basically there is this town in Sweden, and they are a hockey town, and their whole world kind of revolves around this rivalry of these 2 hockey teams. And then there's different circumstances that happen, very serious things that happen in the town, and the consequences of these actions, and how people choose to retaliate or not retaliate, and just the human nature of us all. Every single person in these books is flawed, but also beautiful. And it's just really, really heartfelt. And the way that Bachman writes, he keeps you on the edge of your seat constantly, because he's always dropping these little nuggets that you're like, okay, is this the hint about this person is going to die? Or is this hint? Or you don't really know. He's not direct about like the very serious thing he keeps hinting out until right when he gets there. And so you're just always on the edge of your seat, like, oh my gosh, is he about to do away with my favorite character? That kind of thing. And it's just a very heartfelt 3 tales. And so, but they all take place with the same characters, essentially. So highly, highly recommend if you haven't read those yet. I have been loving them, and I give them all 5 stars, basically. All right, so then in between that, I read the Twisted Woman's Book Club while I was waiting for my friend who I was buddy reading those with to catch up. This is a book that's written by like 20 different mystery writers, beginning with Karen Slaughter, and I hadn't read any of the other authors besides her, but it was free with my Audible membership. So basically there's like 20 stories, and they all kind of weave together, and they all are written by a different person, so they all have a different voice, but they're essentially, they're all like loosely, or there's some that are more tightly connected, but they're all loosely connected. There's all these people like in this town, and some of them have done really horrible things or are about to do something horrible, but they're all hiding secrets. And it was really, really interesting. So I don't give it like a 5-star. It wasn't a must read, but for something that was free for me with my membership, I gave it a 4-star. I thought it was very interesting. It definitely kept me intrigued. And then I read The Last Flight by Julie Clark. This was interesting. I would say I gave it like a 3.5. Basically, it's about these women who exchange their identities at the airport and become each other in order to escape some scary situations that they're in. And I feel like I think I liked the beginning of this book more than the end of the book, how it all played out in the end. And it was okay. This was another read, I think, that was free to me to read. Maybe. Yeah, I think so. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It was pretty good. It's not like Beartown. Definitely, if you want to know my top recommendation, go read that series. But, you know, it was a decent time, about 3.5. So those are all the things I have to talk to you about, because I've been mostly watching Flosstube, listening to documentaries on YouTube. There's some great documentary channels out there, or reading Audible books. So, okay, I've been also listening to music too. But that's about it. So I hope that you had some fun hanging out with me today. I really appreciate you stopping by. Don't forget to enter the giveaway down below. Comment what your favorite whip is this week, what you've been enjoying. It could be anything, you know, a favorite treat you had this week, or a movie that you saw, or, you know, you went on a walk and you saw something really cool. I also just love to be in nature as much as possible. So anyway, that's going to be it for today. I will see you back in 2 weeks. That means before Halloween, so I shan't say Happy Halloween to you yet. Let me just double check. Yeah, we're good. Okay, so that's going to be it for today. I appreciate you stopping by, and I will see you back again very soon. Take care. Bye.